Yes, that they reminded me of all the horrible genocide which happened back in Europe. The terrible things happened before I was born. In 1944, my mother and my grandmother were taken to the concentration camp. My grandmother was killed in gas in Bergen-Belsen, and my mother was found by the British soldier under the pile of dead bodies. He was passing through the concentration camp and he saw something moving in this horrible pile of bodies. He stopped and pulled out my mother, who was then 17 and weighed 50 pounds, was terribly sick. She recovered, and a few years later I was born. But I always knew this story. It was part of our family life.
It's amazing when we talk about destiny weaving that you have made in the honor of your grandmother.
To honor my grandmother. It's naked, skinny body. Here there is a sign, Arbeit macht frei. That was what was written above the gate entrance to every concentration camp.
Yes.
Work makes you free. Here's the symbol of Poland and the colors of blood. There's a cross here because my grandmother was Catholic.
Yes.
And a lot of Catholics were killed
yes.
in
yes.
concentration
yes.
camps.
Now, when you began your journey, as I indicated at the inception of the show, to bring other artists to work with you, to express their feeling, how did you go beyond the internet from the standpoint of sending messages out? Did you extend in different way to make sure that this became a reality?
Yes, I was talking about this project to everyone, to all the art magazines, art editors, and I think I met you also.
Yes.
Through that way.
Yes. Now, you have put behind us some of the tapestry that the artists from different parts of the world have sent to you. Now, each one of them has a special meaning, but the way you have assembled that, you have designed such beautiful tapestry behind us. Could you perhaps just briefly expand on some of them?
You have to know that these artists never communicated with each other, and I never met them personally. And when they sent me these little pieces, they all made sense and they fitted together. Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
Actually, some people think that the face of the Lady Liberty was the tears right here.
Yes.
And this tapestry above her of 9/11 is just one piece, but these are two pieces. Each one is individual piece done in different part of the world by a person speaking completely different language with a different background.
And not knowing each other.
Not knowing each other and not knowing me and trusting me that this is each of these creations took weeks and sometimes months to make. And they just sent it to me to Pasadena, understanding that it would help them to recover from this horrible event, and it will help others.
It's amazing how we are connected with each other throughout the world, and quite often we put so much emphasis of hate, prejudice, discrimination against one another because we happen to be from a different part of the world, different culture, nationality, religion. And this tapestry really brings exactly what you have been doing for the past number of years and what we have been doing through the Pasadena Human Relations Commission to bring people together for peace and harmony and how to overcome hate, prejudice, and violence. Now, I know your tapestry has been displayed at many museums in the United States. Can you expand, for example, where the tapestry just was displayed before?
This tapestry just came from San Francisco. It was shown over there, and after the show on September 11 in Pasadena, in the First Church of Nazarene, it will travel to Palm Desert, and it will be shown there in the public library. After that, it will be shown in Burbank, and then I will take it to Florence, where I was invited to a very prestigious biennial of contemporary art.
Now, this tapestry is much longer than what you have put on the wall.
This is just 1/3 of the
Just
tapestry.
1/3. The length of the total tapestry is how many feet?
At this moment, it's 21 feet, but I'm still welcoming new entries.
When you started, besides yours, what was the length? And if you'd be so kind to expand as how it grew to being 21 feet.
Actually, it happened within a month when all the entries came.
Amazing.
And it was like sort of a Christmas. I was getting mail, a package every day in my mail. Some of the artwork made me very sad looking at it. It was so depressing, and it showed the actual event. Others, they had incredible symbolism. Like, look at this white picture here, for example. It's from Bulgaria, the one over there. It shows the angel, which was split in half. You see on the top the white wings of the angel, and on the bottom the hands raised. And then one of the feathers, the red one, is falling down, but it's going straight to the earth because it's like a spear. The angel is angry, and it's going to hit the earth with
Can you
anger.
expand on some other names from different countries? As you mentioned, the one came from Bulgaria. Just some of the countries that the artists have sent you these tapestries.
This piece here is from Romania. The one next to it is from Mexico. Then there are several pieces from Canada, and I was amazed how many pieces came from Australia. And in the letters, people said, from Australia, they said, well, I didn't know if I should participate in this. I'm so far away, and nobody will ever attack Australia. But it really deeply hurt us as well as America, and we feel as much pain as people in New York. Then I have pieces from Hungary and Germany. This one is from Japan.
It's amazing.
And
Now,
of course, Poland.
Of course. But I also want to tell the viewing audience that what you're seeing behind us cannot be really appreciated unless you see it in person. On September 11, next week, we are having a benefit concert dedicated. You brought a weave with you.
This is my tapestry loom on
Okay.
which I teach students. As you know, I teach at Pasadena Art Center College of Design on
Yes.
Lidra. Here's the work.
Okay. Can you expand on that briefly, please, Monique? That's how you do it.
Anyone can learn tapestry within few hours. And if someone would like to still participate in this project, they can come to the Art Center and I will give them instructions. The tapestries are woven sideways. You can see this is the interior of the airplane.
Yes.
So to be able to work on it, I have to turn it sideways. And the entire process is about picking up every other warp. This is the warp, and this is the weft. And as I pick up every other warp, I just push the weft through it, and that creates the picture. So the picture is not created like in painting on the surface. The picture is part of the structure.
I see.
It will never disappear. Even if all these colors will fade, like you see in the museums on the 13th century tapestries, you barely can see colors, but you can still feel the texture and you see what was in it. It's more like a sculpture. I'm really attracted to the sculptural feeling of the tapestry.
How long would it take you to do this?
It's a slow process. It takes about a day to make 1 inch all the way
1
across.
inch, I
Yes.
see, amazingly.
But it's such a peaceful process that you forget about the existence of time. And actually, I still feel, you know, like the same, like 20 years ago, I didn't notice any passage of time because I weave every day.
I see.
And it brings me peace.
That's why you have remained so beautiful all these years, because you're so relaxed and serene. And at the same time, the ultimate goals and objectives that you have will be achieved with the final tapestry. And I'm sure each and every one of the people that became contact with you have received your energy and your feeling. You also brought some posters. Can you be so kind if you expand on some of those, please?
I created a lot of tapestries in my life.
Could you just hold it for the camera so you can pick it up, please? Yes.
This is one of my last ones. It's a tapestry in the Catholic Church in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
It depicts the typical scene of America with the cornfield.
I'll put it here for you. And this one?
When the Pope was first selected, I made his portrait. I was very impressed that the Polish cardinal became the Pope, and I spent hours weaving his portrait. And then when he first came to America, I actually had a chance to talk to him.
Oh, wonderful.
And show him his portrait.
Yeah, please hold that steady. I want the camera to pick that up because that is weaving, tapestry.
This is weaving. It took me half a year
I was
to
going to
make
say
it.
that, yes. It's not painting, it's weaving.
Yes.
I want people to understand. It's weaving that took 6 months
Yes.
to make the picture of Pope. And if you look at it as I'm seated here, it looks magnificent. And these other ones, please.
I also met John Travolta at the time when I first arrived to America and when he made the Saturday Night Fever movie, and I made a huge portrait of him.
That's wonderful.
And you can all come and see this picture. It's 40 feet long. It's in Pasadena City College on Foothill in the multi-purpose room.
Do you have an answer as to how we can proceed really? Try to, hopefully, with God's blessing, minimize that?
Well, I'm doing only what I can do, and I'm spending all my time connecting people from all over the world to create something positive. When I was a child, I learned 6 languages, and I never knew what was the purpose of me knowing all these languages. My parents just thought it was a part of education. But now it comes useful because I can communicate with almost everyone.
I think if we find out early in life what our destiny is in this world, then we find out why we are placed here. And the sooner you find out what direction you need to take, that is the beauty of life. Whereas quite often people are misplaced in this world. They do not know what their role is, what direction they need to take. And that's why you're so blessed by having found your direction in life at an early age, and you know your destiny, and your destiny has really brought so much joy to people. And what you are doing along with all the other artists will last, in my point of view, forever, because this is a beautiful artwork. And how long will these things last without being any destruction to them, or where you need to maintain them?
Well, we still find Egyptian tapestries from 3,000 years ago, so definitely this would last long.